guys, I'm back with another makeup tutorial. We're going to start off with primer. I'm using this MAC Cosmetics Radiant Yellow primer, and I just put that all over my face. I really like to use this primer when I'm going for something more hydrating. Then we're going to start off by doing brows. I'm using the Anastasia Brow Wiz in the shade Dark Brown. And as you could see, I have naturally thicker brows, so I'm just kind of filling in the sparse areas, and I always like to kind of define the front of my eyebrows as well. But I know everyone's shape is a little bit different, so just fill it in accordingly. I also like to brush the brows down and kind of define the arch a little bit, just so they look a little bit more put together. And you really do want to take your time with this because brows really do frame your face. So don't be afraid to spend a little bit more time on your brows. This is how we're looking, okay? Then I'm taking the Hourglass concealer in the shade Fawn. I love this concealer. It's literally my favorite concealer for highlighting or even just getting a shade that's close to my skin tone. I love it. It's so easy to blend and creamy. But I'm just putting it underneath my brow, and I'm also going on top of the lid just to start setting my eyes for eyeshadow. And I'm blending this out with a big fluffy brush that really just gets every single bit of my eyelid. And I'm going in with the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. Super old, I know. But I'm going in with that white chocolate shade, and I'm just putting it all over my eyes just to start setting our eyes and getting it ready for the other shadow that we're gonna lay on top. And here I'm going in with the shade Milk Chocolate with a smaller, denser brush, and instead of going back and forth, I'm more so patting it into the crease just to start forming that line that gives it definition, if that makes sense. So you want to make sure you pat for this step. And really just eyeball it. That's my best advice. Like, just go until you think it looks good and slowly start blending out the edges. And as you can see, I'm going in with a fluffier brush just to blend out any harsh lines. Then I'm going to start incorporating the shade Salted Caramel also on the crease, kind of to give it more of a burnt brown look, if that makes sense. So again, I'm patting it, and then I'm slowly going to start blending it out with, again, another fluffy brush. And then here I'm going in with a little bit more of that white chocolate shade just to clean up the lid. And with a smaller pointed brush, I'm going to go in with the shade Hazelnut, and I'm just going to start to create a line basically as a placement for the liner that you see me putting on here. And don't worry if this step isn't super clean, it comes out a little bit messy. It's okay. You just really want to focus on bringing the darkness to the outer corner of the eyes. And now we're gonna go ahead and clean up the eyes with a makeup wipe. So again, just really trying to get those corners to make it look nice and sharp. And okay, it's coming together. Trust the process. I'm going in now with the Too Faced Born This Way foundation and mixing the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk foundation. And I don't apply this with a brush initially. I kind of just go in with my fingers as I'm mixing the two foundations and just lay it on my face. And then I go in with a damp beauty blender to melt the foundation onto my skin. Again, you really do want to take your time with this just because you don't want it to look patchy or streaky when blending. I'm now going to take the Patrick Ta blush and She's That Girl, and I'm going to take the cream side and I'm going to start laying the blush. Now this is a very blush based makeup, so we are going to go a bit heavier on the blush than I normally would, but you always want to start with creams first for this type of look. I'm now going to go in with the Hourglass Stick Foundation in the shade Golden Almond. This is such a pretty tan shade, and a little bit goes a long way with this, so I just go with the forehead, a little bit on the nose, jawline. And because, again, it is blush focused makeup look, I'm not going to put any on the cheeks like I normally would to contour. We're just gonna focus on the outer perimeter of the face and just focus on really blending everything out so it looks super seamless. And also, don't rush the process of blending out your jaw contour if you do that, just because it could look like you have a shadow and muddy. So really blend it out, girl. Blend, blend, blend. And then I'm going in with my damp beauty blender again all over the face and all over the creams, just so nothing looks patchy from before. I'm now using the NARS Soft Matte Concealer in the shade Vanilla, but you could really use any brightening concealer. Now, you know, I don't really typically go for a super bright under eye, but for this look, again, because you really want to make the pink pop out from your blush, you do want to use a lighter concealer, and you want to put that underneath your eyes, of course, but I don't put it on the bridge of my nose, just because, as you could see, I kind of blend to the corner of my nose, so that replaces putting it on the bridge, if that makes sense. But it could be a little bit scary, this process, not gonna lie, because it seems like you're blending for eternity, but you just gotta, like I always say, blend, 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 and trust the process. And of course, going back in with that beauty blender just to make sure it's even more blended and smooth. And I'm going back in with a Patrick Ta blush, just so that that blush color doesn't get washed out. For my next layer of blush, I'm going in with the NARS Orgasm blush. And again, I'm kind of focusing this more on the apples of my cheeks versus putting it on that higher placement. And then I'm going in with the One Size loose setting powder in the shade Translucent. And with this, I'm just gonna set the under eyes, the forehead, basically my whole face, just so that it could prepare my face for baking. Now here I'm going to bake underneath the eyes, and I'm also going to carve out my cheekbones. And I'm going in with Fenty Beauty in Caramel Cutie. Again, another super nice tan shade. And I'm just going in with that on my forehead. And I don't want that under eye bake to bake for too long, so I'm just going to press it into my skin just to take away all that loose setting powder. And now I'm going to go in with a denser brush, and I'm going to put that bronzer shade on my cheekbones, mainly the higher part of my cheekbones, just so that it looks a little bit more sculpted. And then I'm going to go in with this blush from NARS in Dolce Vita. And for this, again, I'm focusing it more on the apples of my cheeks, just so it brings a little bit more color to the face and it has that ombre effect. Then with the powder side of the Patrick Ta, I'm going to go in and layer again. And then I'm going to wipe off that bake that we had placed. And I just love how wiping away that bake really defines your face. Like, look at the difference, girl. Look at it. And then for a finishing touch on the eyes, I'm going in with a brown. And then I'm going in with the MAC Cork liner. And I'm going to go ahead and define my lips. I do overline a little bit, but nothing super crazy. When doing the bottom part of my lip, I do kind of go in with the corners just a little bit, just so it adds, again, definition. And I'm going in with the NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Bit of Honey, and I'm putting that all over my lips. And on top of this, I'm going to go in with the MAC lip gloss in the shade See-Through. Super pretty like lip gloss topper for really any shade. It just goes so well because it is just like that clear look. But this was the finished look. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.